did they come to Singapore? Well, the idea is that they're going to wait here for the Viceroy of Goa's ships to arrive from India, and then they would merge the two fleets, the Portuguese and the Spanish fleet, and they would then sail on to the Moluccas to give the Dutch a good licking, and hopefully kick them out of the region altogether. What the Spanish couldn't realize when they dropped anchor in February 1616 in Singapore is that all of the ships of the Portuguese Armada that had been sent had been completely destroyed. This league, is it as magnificent as this? Well, there are parallels and differences, key differences. The Armada arriving in Singapore, these things don't just show up out of nowhere. And the question is, of course, how far back do we need to go to really understand these different developments that coalesced and led to them dropping anchor off Singapore? We have our star of the day, Juan de Silva. He is the Spanish governor of Manila. Two viceroys, the viceroy in Mexico City and the viceroy in Goa. That's halfway around the world in the early 1600s, without internet and WhatsApp and telephones. On the 25th of February, 1616, they drop anchor off of Changi. We're not quite sure exactly where. I'll show you on a map in a moment where I think they were resting at anchor. And they're waiting here to join with the ships that had been sent by the Viceroy from Goa. And they walk over to the Dutch factory and they're like, can you read this? And the Dutch factor who's heading the operations there, he's sort of the you should know about this. They had pilots, who guided them through the waters of the Singapore Strait, but they weren't really familiar with the waters in Singapore. And the ships are constantly running aground, and the anchors are snapping, and the ropes are snapping from the tide. And he discovers a new passage through the islands in the Singapore Straits. This later becomes known as the Governor's Strait. I'll tell you this as one of the legacies of this Armada showing up here in Singapore. Probably where they're anchored off of something called Tanjung Rusa, which is the old Portuguese or Malay name actually, Tanjung Rusa, of Changi Point. So they're off of Changi, somewhere there, south of Tekong, off of Changi. That's roughly where they're anchored. Been hearing about all the terrible things that had happened. Everybody apparently was pointing fingers and blaming each other. They were so happy that the governor had arrived. He then suddenly falls ill and dies within a week. The Spanish decide they're going to teach those Malays a lesson, and they chop down all the fruit-bearing trees, and maybe that's why the Orang poisoned them, I don't know. Why was Singapore chosen as a rendezvous point? Was it always on the radar screen, or had it come up at some stage later on? We would have to talk about his engagement very successfully with the Dutch off the Philippine Islands, especially Luzon, in 1610. They managed to tank 11 of the 12 galleys, but they lose one of their 4 ships as a result of that. The Dutch show up from across the Pacific. They had come from the Netherlands and Cape Horn to the Philippines. Now, what the Dutch don't know is that every single piece of artillery had been taken along with the fleet that is sitting off of Singapore. Terrible misfortunes. The carracks that got blown up, the Achinese attack, the Dutch showing up in Manila, and they managed to sort of wing their way through this position, but then they let all the prisoners out and spent the rest of the time for the next few weeks rounding them all up again. That too is quite amazing. The copper was sourced for in Japan, the iron and the steel in China, the ropes were made somewhere else. It was just amazing where they had to source this stuff from. These Japanese mercenaries that they had paid 9 months in advance probably weren't worth the effort, and so they disposed of them, they got rid of them, and they're quite interesting. They apparently entered the services of the King of Siam a few months later, so they found some other job opportunities at the time. For those of you who are avid map collectors, you might have known something about the Governor's Strait, and it remained the name of the main Singapore Straits well into the 19th century, until the British then decided